This is African American History is American History. Welcome. I'm your host, Harlan Kearsley. This program's goal is to foster understanding, promote discussion, and expand knowledge through stories of historical events, bios of unsung heroes, as well as timely and relevant news stories which, hopefully, will paint a vivid picture of the effects of segregation, discrimination, and bigotry on the lives of both blacks and whites. Comparisons will be made between the many racially fractured periods of American history and what's going on right now. In 1974, just 55 years after Georgia Ann Robinson became the first African-American policewoman in the country, 24-year-old Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Officer Gail Cobb was gunned down while trying to arrest a bank robber she had tracked down in a downtown garage. October of 1973, Cobb applied to become an officer with the MPDC. After the Washington, D.C. government lowered the height requirements for the police recruits to 5 feet, Cobb herself was 5 feet exactly. She graduated from her 34-member police academy class in April of 1974. Of the 34 graduating members, 13 were female. Cobb was well-liked by her trainers, who noted that she was hard-working. Since she spent most of her time patrolling on foot, she went that extra mile and set out to learn everything she could about the neighborhood she patrolled and its residents. She even took a night class to learn sign language.
Hey, Cobb. A couple of us probies are headed down to Keller's for a few beers to celebrate making it through the first week. Come on, join us. First round is on me.
I'd like to, but I've got to study. Sorry.
Study? You got the gig already, Cobb. You don't need to keep proving you can do the job.
I'm studying for the sergeant's exam.
You're still on probation as a patrolman.
My daddy taught me to always look ahead. I plan to be 100% when it comes time to take that exam.
Yeah? Well, do me a favor. Slow the hell down. Please, just a little. You're making us white guys look lazy.
No promises. Have a good night.
This is African American History is American History. At around 10:30 a.m. on Friday, September 20th, 1974, two men, 29-year-old John Curtis Dortch, a Howard University graduate and former U.S. Army soldier from Silver Springs, Maryland, and 24-year-old John William Bryant from Washington, D.C., headed out for the Eastern Liberty Federal Savings and Loan located at 21st and L Streets, Northwest in downtown D.C. The two men were disguised as construction workers, and each carried a loaded sawed-off shotgun and handgun. Their intent was to rob the bank. Two plainclothes police officers had been alerted of the robbery in advance and spotted the two men on the street. Before the two would-be robbers could even get inside the bank, the officers stopped them and asked for ID. The two men ran off in separate directions. Only 6 months out of the academy at the time, Gail Cobb was still on probationary duty and was assigned to foot patrol just a block away from the bank. Cobb was in the middle of writing a traffic ticket when she was told by a concerned citizen that they saw an armed man run into a parking garage.
Officer! Officer! I just saw some crazy guy running like a bat out of hell down the street, holding a gun.
Are you sure about what you saw, sir?
Yeah, I'm sure. You could see the gun plain as day. He ran into that parking garage around the corner.
All right, sir. I'll look into this. Thank you. Now I need to ask you to please remain here. We may need a statement from you later.
Cobb followed the suspect and confronted him inside the garage, just as he was about to change out of his construction worker disguise.
Police! Stop right there! Let me see your hands. All right, now I want you to very slowly turn around and place both hands on that wall, legs apart. Do it, now!
The man began to comply with Cobb's order and slowly turned around towards the wall of the parking garage. Just as she was calling for assistance over the radio, the suspect spun around and fired a single gunshot, hitting Cobb at close range. The bullet went through Cobb's wrist, shattering a wristwatch that was given to her by her mother as a birthday present, and through her police radio, where it then penetrated her heart. Cobb died at the scene. Responding officers arrested the suspect. This is African American History is American History. Gail Adrienne Cobb's funeral was ornate and large, even by Washington, D.C. standards. The streets leading to Holy Comforter Catholic Church in southeast Washington, D.C. were lined with hundreds of police officers, some coming as far away as Hawaii, and all standing at attention. The then mayor of the District of Columbia, Walter Washington, and FBI Director Clarence Kelly were among the many U.S. government officials who attended the crowded service on Tuesday, September 24th, 1974. At the hour of the funeral, U.S. President Gerald R. Ford called for a moment of silence as he addressed an International Association of Police Chiefs conference being held across town.
She was the first female officer sworn in to the MPDC and was an exemplary officer, a role model for all those that will follow. Officer Gail Adrienne Cobb made the ultimate sacrifice. Sadly, her death established the fact that the criminal makes no distinction between the sexes.
On that day, September 20th, 1974, Officer Gail Adrienne Cobb became both the first female police officer in the history of the Metropolitan Police Department of the District of Columbia to be shot and killed while patrolling, and this nation's first African American policewoman to die in the line of duty. On February 26, 1970, at the age of 19 years old, Gail Cobb gave birth to a son, Damon Demetrius Cobb. Her son's father, whom Cobb had met and dated in high school, took no responsibility as a father, so Cobb raised their son as a single parent. Sadly, Damon Demetrius Cobb is currently serving a life sentence in prison at the Western Correctional Institution in Cumberland, Maryland, after being found guilty of first-degree murder in a 1992 killing. Gail Cobb's parents stated in 1996 that they believe his mother's murder, which happened when Damon was 4 years old, deeply influenced his life and led to his current legal predicament. I'm Harlan Kearsley, and on behalf of everyone here at African American History is American History, thank you for listening. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. Once you do, you'll be notified as soon as new episodes are posted. Thanks again, and please stay safe. And remember, none of us can truly embrace the future until we first confront the past. African American history is American history. Copyright H.C. Kearsley, 2023.